When David pulled into the driveway after a long shift, he expected a quiet evening. Instead, he found his 7-year-old son Timmy sitting on the cold concrete floor of the garage, wearing only his socks. The boy was shivering slightly, hugging his knees to his chest, looking terrified. David rushed over, dropping his briefcase. "Timmy, what are you doing out here? It's freezing. And where are your new sneakers?" Timmy sniffled, wiping a smudge of dirt from his nose. "Brenda said I couldn't come inside until I learned the value of $1. She said I was ungrateful and needed to think about what I did." Furious, David scooped his son up and marched him into the warm living room. Inside, his fiancée Brenda was sitting comfortably on the couch, laughing at a TV show while her teenage daughter, Chloe, sat nearby doing homework. "Brenda," David said, his voice low and dangerous. "Why was my son freezing in the garage?" Brenda didn't even pause the TV because he threw away $50. "David, I bought him those brand new sneakers for school yesterday, and he came home barefoot today, just barefoot. He claims he lost them. That is unacceptable." David looked down at his son, whose eyes were filled with tears. "Timmy, tell me the truth. Did you lose them?" Timmy shook his head vigorously. "No, Daddy. There's a new boy in my class named Sam. He was crying at recess because his shoes had holes in the bottom and the wet grass was making his socks soaked. He didn't have anyone to play with, so ... I gave him mine." David felt a lump form in his throat. He knelt down to eye level. "You gave him your brand new shoes because his were wet. He needed them more," Timmy whispered. "I have my old ones in the closet. I didn't think it would be bad." Brenda scoffed, standing up and crossing her arms. "See? He's soft. You can't let him just give away our hard-earned money to some charity case. I put him in the garage so he'd feel what it's like to go without. He needs to toughen up or the world will eat him alive." David stood up, his eyes cold and resolved. "He doesn't need to toughen up. He has a heart of gold, which is something you clearly lack. If you think punishing a child for an act of pure kindness is acceptable, you don't belong in this family." He pointed firmly to the front door. "Pack your things, Brenda. We're done." Shocked, Brenda grabbed her purse, her face turning red. "Fine, you're making a mistake. Come on, Chloe, let's go where we're actually appreciated." But Chloe didn't move. She looked up from her books, staring at her mother, then at Timmy's shivering frame. "No, Mom," Chloe said, her voice steady. "Excuse me," Brenda snapped. "Get your coat." Chloe stood up, walked over to Timmy, and took off her own warm cardigan, wrapping it gently around the little boy's shoulders. Timmy did a good thing. "You're being cruel, and I don't want to be like that." "I'm staying with David and Timmy," Brenda gasped, looking between the three of them, realizing she had lost total control. Sputtering with indignation, she turned and stormed out of the house, slamming the door behind her. David smiled, pulling both kids into a warm hug. "I'm proud of both of you.